Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pickleball Crew. We are a group of pickleball fanatics based in southeast Louisiana and are passionate about all things pickleball everywhere. Our focus is to inform, acknowledge those who help build the game regionally, and promote tournaments in our area. We do our best to present this with a love of the sport, a sense of humor, and a lot of fun. So join Vicki Wynn, Ken Wynn, Jeff Fuchsia, and me, Bud Klein, in our latest episode. We are glad you are along for the ride. This week we're changing things up a little, and we'll jump right in and ask, Pickleball plus Fundraiser, is this a perfect match? The crew will take a look at the second annual Boys Ranch Christmas Classic held this past weekend, and Jeff has his usual thought-provoking Burr Under My Saddle. Vicki will share some shout-outs to some well-deserving volunteers, and Ken will wind us up with reviews and updates of local tournaments. As you'll notice, we've changed things up a little bit, so let us know in comments if you like it or not. Welcome to the 29th edition of the Pickleball Crew. This week we're going to talk about fundraising pickleball tournaments, and is it a good idea?
Well, this topic is pretty timely for us. We've not only participated in several tournaments that were fundraisers, but we're getting more requests for help in running tournaments for nonprofit organizations. With the growth of pickleball, the way that it's becoming more and more popular. So I imagine that all these nonprofits are realizing, hey, there may be an opportunity here to do a little fundraising with a tournament and everybody can have fun. To me, it's a great recipe as long as the organization is there and they've got the help that they need to run it. Nothing's worse than putting a tournament on and it running very poorly. But I think for the most part, as long as people are having fun and things are moving along, I think everybody knows that this is a fundraiser. It's a good time. I do want to say that I think the pickleball community really comes together. I've seen time after time come together to help out fundraiser pickleball tournaments, and they just turn out to be such a wonderful experience for everybody. And hearing how productive they can be, all you have to do is look at Halloween and the success of Halloween through the years. That shows right there that it can be a great match and it can work.
Let's talk about what makes that kind of a successful marriage. And I think one thing is not just a good cause, but a cause that people can easily relate to. In the tournaments that have where the money is going, that they actually have either people who are being supported by the cause or mixed in, even playing pickleball with the some of the people who've signed up, or are just there mingling in. So if it's a touchy-feely that you can see, hey, here's where my money's gone, and you just believe in the cause, I think that is one thing that really can make it a success. When you think about the popularity of pickleball and how much fun people have just playing in a tournament, to marry that with a fundraiser, it is kind of a natural thing. I'm just trying to think about how many tennis tournaments do you hear about during a month or 2 months for a fundraiser? How many cornhole tournaments? Think of the popular adult sports, and there's just not as much as you see in pickleball. And to me, it's a perfect combination to fundraise and to play pickleball. That's a great example, Bud, because I played USTA league and tournament tennis for the 10 years prior to starting pickleball. And there were probably only about 3, 4, 5 tennis tournaments locally a year. And maybe 1 or 2 of those were fundraisers. But pickleball, as we know now, in 2023, there are upwards of 10 tournaments in a month that are all within a half hour to an hour's drive. And more of those are now becoming fundraiser for a particular cause. So you're exactly right that it's the popularity of the tournaments, and now the fundraising organizations are getting wind of that and saying, hey, this is a real opportunity for us.
Yeah, and a part of fundraising, getting people to come out, and I mean, as much as everybody loves pickleball, it's an easy way to get people to come on out, get in the tournament, and then once they get there, like this weekend, you had the raffles going on and the bake sale and all of that. So you got the people there, and they're in a good mood. Everybody was in a good mood and excited to be there because it's, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. It's just something that's really fun that a lot of people enjoy.
That's right. It's a festive environment. It's a fun tournament. It's a great way for people to mix in with each other. Partnerships, if you wanted to sign up and you didn't have a partner, easy to put people together. And I think because you're seeing so many new players, I know I've given them a shout out before saying how brave they're being and signing up. You don't see that quite as much, I think, in some other sports. But here in pickleball, you're seeing a lot of beginners sign up for these tournaments, and they want to see what it's like. And this type of tournament just makes it really easy for them to do that.
Well, and you can cater to the beginners. Whereas like tennis or something else, you can't really cater to the beginner. You've got to cater to the better player. I think too, another important thing is the venue. You have to consider that. But even at that, I'm thinking Halloween, it's, hot, outdoors, people still came and they still played and they still gave. So to me, it's pickleball. That's the key. Look at this last tournament they had at Pelican Park for the High School Titans Sport Booster Club. I mean, none of those people played pickleball, but they had a pickleball tournament to raise money, and they were successful. It was a successful tournament.
It sure was. And that brings up another interesting thing there is that in order to do it, there are some struggles and possibly some disadvantages for some people, some organizations, to try to pull that off and try to do it themselves when they're not players or don't really understand how to put a tournament on. Our best advice can always be to get somebody on board to help you understand the sport, understand what it takes to put a tournament on, or even reach out to someone to actually run the tournament for you. That's always a better recipe for success there, and somebody who understands a sport and understands where the players are coming from and how to reach out to those players to come and participate as well.
You make a great point. Following that same thought of what would make a fundraiser pickleball tournament a challenge for an organization that's trying to raise funds, one would be trying to do it themselves without a real pickleball person kind of either assisting them behind the scenes or running it the day of the event. So you want to have a pickleball person that can relate to the pickleball community and help get people signed up, get people to come to the tournament. Last thing you want to do is reserve a venue and not have a lot of people show up. So that can be a challenge without having that link to the pickleball community helping you.
Right. And in order to really put a successful one on as well, this is a sport that it's not just show up unless you format the tournament that way, which you could do. But unless you format the tournament where people just show up to play, it is something where people have to register ahead of time. So again, even from a registration standpoint, knowing how many teams you can not take, how many divisions there may be, it can get a little complicated. And like I say, that would be our best advice to someone is don't shy away from doing it at all. Just make sure that you have the right people in the right places and start out the right way and get some help and run it properly. And from what we're seeing, it can very easily be a success.
Again, I think the key is pickleball. And I'm going back to that high school boosters. Those people had very, very little pickleball experience. And they still put on, it still was a very successful tournament. And I think it's because it was pickleball. Mm-hmm. I don't think they could have done anything else and been as successful.
Very true. Very true. I mean, there's just so much excitement.
The other thing I think that's has helped some of these fundraisers tournaments is the ones for the wheelchair athletes. You have the athletes out there playing tennis, playing pickleball. For for other organizations. You have members of that organization out there. If you're fundraising for an athletic, for the school athletes, you have the athletes out there helping, thanking the people, so that you actually you're engaging with where your money is going to. And I think you make that association, and I think you feel better about, hey, I think it just helps reinforce the fact that you participated in it. You would come back again the next year to help that out. So,
yeah, it's a good point. A good point.
I was just saying that we know that there's so many, it takes a village to do so much. It really, truly does. And that we have a group of ladies that we made a first Friday of the month luncheon group. And we decided while we were there, let's name our group and do some things to give back to the community. It just evolved in so many ways. And we ended up calling it Power of the Paddle, because we knew that pickleball was special, and we knew that there was a lot that we could do as a group with pickleball, and just coming together and being a group and making things happen. So there's a lot of spirit behind it, a lot of volunteerism, a lot of people who are willing, if they can't be there, just make a donation, do whatever they can to make these things a success. So
good point.
Just wanted to throw that out there and add that in.
So we kind of talked about what can make that marriage a success, and then what can make that marriage of fundraising and pickleball a challenge. Maybe we can just bring up, in the last year or so, tournaments that we've been to that were fundraisers that we felt like that were very successful, and why.
Well, I think the first one that's got to come to your mind is Halloween. Mm-hmm. I mean, that to me is the premier pickleball fundraiser tournament. I can't imagine anywhere is any better than that. I mean, that is so well run, and it's just so successful. I mean, if anybody ever wants to really get into pickleball fundraising tournaments, that's the one to model right there.
No doubt. And there are people, Tex even told us over the weekend that it was shortly after it ended that people started to contact them saying, when is registration open for the next one? So there you're creating a demand also, because it is an experience. It's not just a tournament playing pickleball. It ends up being a true experience too.
That truly is almost like the Mardi Gras of pickleball tournaments. It's a carnival atmosphere, not to mention the beer keg and the margarita keg, but there's a parade. There's opening ceremonies on the Friday night, and there's the raffle, and it's just people are there from 8 a.m. to after 8 p.m., both Friday and Saturday and Sunday until a decent time. So it really is a fun tournament. And look, that tournament is the last weekend in October and was sold out in mid-June. So very few tournaments sell out that quickly.
And I want to mention, too, that when these tournaments become popular like that, even though this is a fundraiser and it's an experience and it's fun and everything else, it is also known for great competition. So we don't want to give the impression that because it's a fundraiser that it's not competitive, or that it is open to 2-5 or 3. That tournament, and as well as others, as we know, is a fundraiser, but it's very competitive. Jeff, how many years have you participated in that?
4, I believe. I think I missed 1 year that I was working. But yeah, for me, that's a must sign up for type tournament. And it's because of how they've handled things. It's for a good cause. It is very competitive. It's got all the ingredients to really draw people into it. And then, like Bud said a while ago, the pickleball is the glue that's holding all that together to me.
Yeah. Again, name me another sport that could do that. On a Joe Blow off the street can participate in. You can't think of one. Anything like pickleball.
There isn't, in my opinion.
Yeah, Lakeshore example, the perfect example of that, Bud. You're right. It was.
Yeah.
Ken?
But that Lakeshore High School, they took it very serious, and they spent a lot of time asking a lot of questions. They wanted to make sure they did it right. And unfortunately, we couldn't be there on the day of the tournament, but from everything I hear, they really did a good job.
Yeah, I played in it, and I'm going to tell you what, for a group of people who don't play pickleball, they did a really good job. There were a couple of hiccups. There were some misunderstandings about how to put the score sheets together. They had to kind of scramble to get that straight. And then, of course, there was the gold, silver, and bronze paddle awards that they only made one for each team as opposed to one for each player. But other than that, I thought they did a great job. It was unique in some respects, but to me, the key is pickleball, good food, and a good venue, and things like raffles and bake sales and things on the side. Those are all, you put those things together, and you're going to have a successful fundraiser.
No doubt. And I know we've got one coming up in April in Hattiesburg. We've had one or two others, but this past weekend we had a really special one, didn't we?
Yep.
We had the Boys Ranch tournament this past weekend in Slidell at Fritchie Park. And the nice part again, Ken, like you bring out, whether that the athletes can be there, whether it's the wheelchair athletes, or for this time it was the boys. And it's always so nice to see the boys participating in the tournament as well. Pickleball has become something that is very meaningful to them. They love it. They have a great time. And so Thomas came up with the idea like 3 years ago to put a tournament together, and got some people together to just make it happen. And this was the second annual tournament, and very successful. I think everybody had a great time. I think there's great competition. The boys, even themselves, their games have gotten so good. That incredibly competitive.
I watched Steve Garcia and Gilles playing a couple of them, and those two boys were giving those two guys a game.
They were.
And they were. I remember when Thomas first started bringing them to par and letting them play.
Yeah.
And to look at them now, it's incredible how they've improved. It really is. But that tournament was hugely successful. And I think, again, venue, pickleball, number one, the venue, some good food, good prizes. The bake sale was terrific, really good baked goods. I mean, it just all came together, and you got yourself a really good tournament.
Absolutely. They increased the number of people that, I think it was 75 maybe last year, and I think they went up to 125 participants this year. So,
and you know something, in all honesty, I think they could do more.
They can do more.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
because we finished early. I know yesterday the mixed finished really, really early, so they could have probably had another 25, 30 more people playing and still finished in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, and I think the venue also was a good venue for watching, with the stands on both sides. It was a double gym, and it had little aluminum bleachers that had 3 or 4 or 5 seats on it. So it was a good venue because you were only either looking at the court in front of you or one court deep. So it was a great spectator venue as well, because some of these pickleball tournaments, it's hard there's not a lot of room to sit courtside, or you're looking through a fence. And this was the perfect venue for spectators to come and participate, not only in the bake sale and the auction, but to watch their family and friends play pickleball. So I think that was helpful.
And there were a lot of spectators. I've worked the check-in desk, and I know in the morning when we were checking people in, there were a lot of people who came in and just said, I'm just coming to watch. So you're right. It was a good venue for just watching pickleball.
And it especially was a good venue for this past weekend because it did rain.
Yeah.
It was an indoor tournament in December, which worked out really, really well because of the rain. And so I think that just mentioning all the efforts that go into this one, even right down to the boys making their own medals, to me, that makes this tournament even more special. They had one boy who actually made 4 bags of goodies to put into the raffle, and that was really special. One of the boys sang the national anthem both days. to open up the games, and the other another young man said the prayer to open up the games both days. So they participated in so many ways to help pull this thing off. It had to feel so personal to them as well. Being able to participate and play pickleball is one thing, but it was much bigger than that. Between all the participating that they did outside of the tournament itself, I think it probably hit home for them.
Well, and you bring up a good point. Having the boys make the medals and having a special note with them signing it on the back. Most of us who've played tournaments for a few years, we've got a drawer full of plastic and tin medals, but having a medal that was handmade with a special note on the back, it makes it really special to have. So if you're fortunate enough to have won one.
That's right.
Each one unique and different. Yeah. Some of the messages were funny too. That I'm trying to think of some of them. Some of them had, to do with Christian, Bible verses and stuff like that. But and in my particular case, the guy that beat me on the court and took silver, and me and Jan took bronze, he actually made the medal that I won. So,
Really? That's awesome.
yeah.
Yes, that is. That's special. There were so many nice things about the weekend, I have to say. Just, it worked out beautifully. I know Thomas was very moved at everybody and how much help they gave. But the biggest thing is that it was probably 3 times more successful financially for them this year too. So it was very, very good. Yeah. Big success. For the second year, no complaints. No complaints at all. It was a great time. It was great being there with the boys. I myself got the chance to spend more time with at least 3 of the boys for sure, if not 4 of them. And but 2 or 3 of them would come and help volunteer at the table. And what a joy to spend some time with them and talk to them. So
yeah, this is one of those tournaments I'm already looking forward to next year. So, no doubt.
That's right. And if every year it grows, even if it's organically, every year it grows, it's a good thing. It's a great program that they have going on there. And like I say, this is very special to the boys, and it means a lot for them.
All right, what a great discussion, guys. And Vicki, I think you had a chance to sit down with Tom Hockert for an interview. We're going to play that now. And we're going to also include a couple of shout outs and just some video of the venue and some of the things going on. So we'll take a look at all that now.
Hey, Bud, Vicki here at Fritchie Park in Slidell, and we are at the 2nd annual Boys Ranch Christmas Classic Pickleball Tournament. And we've had a location change this year, which is exciting because now instead of 4 courts, we have 8 courts, yes, right?
Yes.
And instead of, what did we have like last year, maybe 80-something people? You're actually been able to increase the number of players.
Actually, it was 75 last year, and we're at 124 this year.
That's great. That is great. Incredible.
And weatherproof.
Weatherproof. That's been a good thing. We're having a lot of rain today, and we're in the gym over here at Fritchie Park. And it's a nice big area. Courts are nice, and everybody's having a great time today. Yes. So we're here with Thomas Hockert. Thomas, if you would tell us like what your official title is at the Boys Ranch, and tell us a little bit about the evolution of pickleball at the Boys Ranch.
Absolutely. I got here in 2019 from Georgia, and I knew that I was going to be working with the boys here at the ranch. I had already landed the position.
Oh, that's great.
And so I had to learn this game. And the week before I moved, I said, somebody please teach me this pickleball game. I said, I can take it somewhere. So they taught me for a couple hours, brought it here, and rest is history. The boys look forward to it every year. They're excited. They play every day, 5 days a week.
Wow.
And they're just having a great time with it.
That's wonderful. I mean, you can see the inspiration for them. Has it really made a difference in what you guys are trying to do with the boys? And
it really does. These boys come from broken homes, no moms or dads, and they come from group home to group home. They're placed constantly And so what we try to provide is, hey, this is your last stop. This is where you can rest and grow.
Very nice. Well, we've seen some changes in some of them through the last couple of years, and it's just been amazing. They're so polite. They're loving and even give hugs and everything else. So we've really enjoyed it. And Ken got to play with one of your boys today in the tournament, and they had a great time together. So yes, it is. So tell us a little bit more about, you know, the Boys Ranch and the program that I understand they actually you guys even educate them. So it is a school in addition to just being a place to land.
So again, the ages are 12 and up, and they age out at 18, but they're welcome to stay if they further on their schooling. So they're there 7 days a week, 24/7. We provide school, church, mentors, social workers, so whatever they need. And, you know, we just try to give them consistency of love and what love was supposed to be like.
Right.
So our thing is just, you're here, we give them love and consistency.
That's nice. That's awesome. And how many boys are playing in the tournament today? Because I think I've seen more boys out here than last time.
There's 8 boys playing in the tournament.
That's great. That's wonderful. Now, in the past, I think you've also used pickleball as a little bit of incentive for them as well. That if for some reason they're having issues.
Sure. Yeah. The issues is like, I'm not going to school, but then you can't play pickleball today. You know, and we have one boy that really came to us in a bad situation where he wasn't going to go to school, just profanity all the time.
Oh my goodness.
He didn't care about his life. And he's here today, and he's one of the best players we got.
Oh,
and let me tell you, he goes to school every day, and he's polite, and he loves, in fact, he doesn't even want to leave our ranch because he might miss the pickleball.
Wow.
So
that's amazing. That says a lot right there, doesn't it? That is so amazing. Well, and again, that shows what the pickleball can truly do for them, that it's not just sort of incentive, but it's also helping them to put their lives in order and understand the reason for doing that and living a better life after that, for sure. So, and are there other programs there? I think agriculture was another thing that might have been mentioned.
Yes, you know, we have about 22 heads of cows there, 3 horses. And so these boys, every morning, they work and they feed the cows, whether it be raking cow manure or cleaning the stables. We grow vegetables during the year.
That's great.
So we really give them an opportunity to learn some skills, you know, homestead skills. And we are right now in the process of building a VOTEC, where this is the game changer for the boys. They'll be able to leave here with a skill set, whether it be small engine work, welding, plumbing, carpentry. And we will have professors from the North Shore Technical School come out and teach these boys a skill set before they leave.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. That will be truly beneficial for them, for sure. That's
very
great.
Excited. Very
good.
Excited.
So let's talk a little bit about the evolution of the tournament too. Obviously, pickleball being such an important thing in their lives, it was sort of a natural to go ahead and establish the tournament last year, which was in Hammond. And it was a little, like we said, it was a little smaller, and this obviously is growing this year. But this has been a good thing for the boys, but I know that there's a purpose why you started it in the beginning.
Yeah, so I had a vision 3 years ago, and you know, I just planted a seed, and it just blossomed. I found people like you helping, and Ken and Terry and Petra and Keith. But what I had in mind was to create a tournament for the boys so that we'll make sure that they have a great Christmas every year. And it's just been overwhelming. I mean, people are just truly generous.
They really are.
And loving. It was overwhelming.
It is. It truly is. I mean, we've had gentlemen just stop at the table and give money and say, buy the boys whatever they want, or if there's a snack they want, buy it for. So they really are looking out for them. And then I just saw one partner buy a set of tickets to give to his partner, which happened to be one of the boys from the ranch.
Nice.
So, yes. So we're seeing a lot of giving back and a lot of wonderful things. And I just know that they're having such a great time and being so competitive. But this year we also have growth, not only in the bake sale, but I have to say that the number of prizes and the value of what we got for our raffle and silent auction has just been amazing.
It is amazing. We have our hometown pickleball sport player, Taylor Garcia, signed the paddle and is raffling in the silent act auction. We have Deco Bar. I mean, we just have all kinds of gifts from Engage, Gearbox, Diadem,
yes, Yola.
Yeah, just gifts after gifts.
Right.
So
it's amazing, and everybody's enjoying that. They're having a lot of fun putting their tickets in. So
I'm putting mine in.
And again, some people are coming back multiple times. They decide, oh, I need to put more tickets in. So there's something they're truly after. Well, it has just been, it's such a joy to work with you, and such a joy to be a part of doing something for the boys. And I know I can speak from all of us volunteers that it is from the heart. We love it. And we want nothing but the best for them. So I don't know, is there any message that you want to send out there to everybody who's participating and the players? And
well, just, you know, I really appreciate you guys showing up. And that's what the boys need. It takes a village. And they know that there's so many of us caring for them. So I really appreciate you guys coming out, for all the volunteers and all the athletes that's playing today and tomorrow and this weekend. So thank you so much.
Yes. All righty, Bud. Back to you.
Thank everybody for coming and supporting us. Your entrance fee helps provide presents for the boys at the ranch for Christmas. So we appreciate all of y'all signing up and supporting the boys ranch. We're in La Ranger, Louisiana. We've been there since 1979 and have helped over 1,000 boys. So just a little history on what we do. We take kids from 12 to 17 that have behavior issues or they're in custody of the state of Louisiana. So they live there and go to school there. So any donations that you make helps go toward bettering their lives and their Christmas. Sponsors this year, Magnolia Classic, Cretan Townsend Homes. I want to thank the city of Slidell for the use of Fritchie Park. And I was told Megan Haggerty is here with the city council. In the back, okay, glad to have her here. Dale Galloway, glad, all the work that was done with the Slidell Pickleball Association, helping us secure this building. And I really want to thank Thomas Hockert for all the work he's done. He is employed at the Boys Ranch and one of our main supervisors, and was responsible for pickleball at the Boys Ranch. And now all of our boys love pickleball, and you'll see some of them are pretty good. So thank all of y'all for coming.
Okay, here's the bake sale. Team bake sale. Hey, look at all the goodies. Got t-shirts as well. Table full of goodies. And then we got some raffle items here as well. Paddles, and more paddles. Some beautiful artwork from Nancy, original photography, excuse me. More paddles. Look at this gearbox set. That's for Engage Pursuit. Another photograph from Nancy. Garcia's. Wow. Look at that. A side of queso, 2 house margaritas, and a t-shirt. Paddle from Head, more Garcia's. And an autographed ace paddle from Taylor Garcia, and an autograph paddle from Deckle Bar. Okay.
From the Boys Ranch tournament, shout out to the pickleball crew from Petra and Keith.
Yeah, happy to see you guys out here, and thank you for all your help.
Hey pickleball crew, Tex and Cindy saying hello from the Boys Ranch tournament. Glad to see y'all.
We love the pickleball crew.
All right. Well, that was a great discussion and a great time we had at the Boys Ranch second annual Christmas Classic. And now we're going to jump into Jeff's Burr Under My Saddle.
You're burr under my saddle. Your thorn sticking in my side.
All right, here we go. So I went to the tournament this weekend, and lo and behold, I found a burr under my saddle. And I saw this a couple of times. I've seen it at some other tournaments too. People switching paddles mid-match. I mean, people, what are we doing there? You know, you go over to your paddle bag and you grab another paddle. I mean, if this paddle could talk, the paddle is probably saying, "You're going to get that other paddle that I stay in that bag with, but you fixing to wrap the same hand around it. The same person is going to be there. It ain't the paddle, people. It's the person most of the time." And the other thing is, if I go get another paddle out of my bag, now the pressure's really on, because they're thinking, man, he's going to get another paddle. Something fantastic is fixing to happen. So you know, even more pressure on yourself to really do something. So if you grab another paddle and you go out there and you stink it up again, man, you have really buried yourself. So people, I would figure out a paddle before the match, and I would just stick with it. That's just me. So that's this week's Burr Under My Saddle.
Hey, Jeff, that was a great Burr Under My Saddle. And now it's time.
Hey, bud, I've got a shout out.
All righty. We have a bunch of shout outs today. You know, we had a tournament weekend, so I always have a bunch after that. And my first shout out is to the city of Slidell, who sort of went out of their way to make room for the tournament to be at Fritchie Park. And as Ken mentioned, everybody mentioned, it turned out to be a great venue for this tournament. And so we want to make sure to tell the city of Slidell how much we appreciate what they did. Thank you to Keith and Petra for running the tournament. They kept things going. Great job. Terry, Dale, and all the others who were on the committee that helped pull this tournament off. They both worked really hard, days of events, and all the other court monitors and helpers that were there running boards back and forth, doing everything they can to try to help keep things running smoothly. And I understand even one volunteer came all the way from New Orleans just to help out, didn't play in it or anything, and just to help out and help run the desks. So to all you people, we appreciate it. And what a great success it was. To all those ladies and gentlemen who baked goodies for the bake sale. The bake sale was a great success, and everybody enjoyed all of their goodies. I think even the boys enjoyed a bunch of goodies during the day. All those individuals and companies who donated items for the silent auction and for the raffle. Like I happened to mention, this was huge. This was a really big year, and we had some wonderful prizes. A lot of battles going on with that silent auction, so it was really kind of fun to watch too. But what a huge success it was financially for the boys. And to all those individuals who came up to the table to make donations throughout the day. Either they were just making donations to help out, or Tex Morris, Bruce Center, and about 2 or 3 other gentlemen would come and bring some money for the boys and just say, let the boys do what they want. If they want goodies, here's some money, let them have some goodies. I saw one incredible story that just moved me so much. I ended up having to ask this young man if I could give him a hug, but he bought 30 tickets. And he split them and gave 15. He turned around and asked one of the young men, he said, "Are you with the Boys Ranch?" And he said, "Yes, sir, I am." He said, "Here." And he gave him 15 of his 30 tickets. I saw these things throughout the day and just moving, very, very moving, how touching. Everybody realized the bigger picture. And I think this goes back to our topic, as long as you get that big picture and know what it's about. But so many people showed so much generosity and care and concern for the boys. It was just especially wonderful to see and just amazing. And I want to give a special shout out to the boys again, who did such a great job on the medals. They are special, absolutely special. And to all those who won medals, I know that you'll be cherishing that medal. And to Thomas Hockert and the Boys Ranch team, who dedicate so much of themselves and their time and energy in helping these boys and just care so much. We thank you, thank you, thank you, because you are making a difference with these young men. They were so polite and such a joy to be with. And we know that that comes from good leadership. So we thank you and appreciate what you guys are doing there. That's it, Bud. Back to you.
All right, Vicki, thank you. Those are great shout outs and well-deserved. It was a great weekend. And now, I know we've changed things up a little bit, but for those of you who've been waiting, it's time for Ken and his tournament reviews. Hot off the press, it's time for Ken's review of local tournaments.
Thanks, Bud. Let's start with December 2023. December 15th through 17th is the Pickle Jazz Pickleball Tournament in Baker, Louisiana in Greenwood. So registration will close December 8th. There's already 128 people registered. It's $35 for 2 events. We'll put the URL at the bottom of the screen. Again, the Pickle Jazz Pickleball Tournament, December 15th through 17th. We'll start with January 2024. This is a new one. It's new to our listing, but I think it's a repeat. It's called Checkmate, and it's going to be at W.O. Lott Park in Daphne, Alabama. It's a one-day tournament on January 27th, and this is a mixed doubles tournament only. Let's see. It's a fundraiser for the Bayside Academy chess team, and it's $30 per person, again, called Checkmate. February 2024, February 13th through 15th is the Pickle Gras Jamboree. It's men's doubles, women's doubles, and mixed doubles. It's going to be at the Event Foley Center. Registration is now open. We actually have a flyer that we'll put on the screen, or you can go to pickleballbrackets.com to register, and that's the Pickle Gras Jamboree. Let's see, February 23rd through 25th at the Canebrake Country Club in Hattiesburg. There's 12 outdoor courts. Go to pickleballbrackets.com and you can register for that. The following weekend, February 27th through March 3rd, is Paddles at the Plex in Opelika, Alabama. Registration will open December 18th for that. Going to March 22nd through 24th is the Pickle in the Dell. This will be at Crossgates in Slidell, Louisiana. We don't have a URL or a website yet for registration, but we'll pass it along the second we get one. And the next weekend, March 29th and 30th, will be the Alabama Open in Clay, Alabama. You can go to pickleballbrackets.com to register for that. April of 2024, April 12th through 14th, is the Young Life Organization and the USM Wesley Foundation. This will be in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Marlena Martis will be your tournament director. Go to pickleballbrackets.com. There's almost 60 people already registered for it. Looks like that's going to be a fun time. And on the same weekend, April 12th through 14th, is the Alabama Senior Games in Opelika, Alabama. So if you're not playing in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, head over to Opelika, Alabama. And then another new one, This is April 20th through 24th. This will be in Greenwood, Mississippi. This will be called this second annual Dinking in the Delta. It's $50 per person, and that includes 2 events. There's going to be a 3-5 and under bracket and a 4-0 plus bracket. And they're guaranteeing 3 matches at a minimum per event. So go to pickleballbrackets.com to register for that. And that's it on tournament update, Bud. Also, if you want to send me any additional information, we'll put my email address at the bottom of your screen. That's it. Back to you, Bud.
All right, Ken, thanks for that review. And just talking about fundraiser tournaments, who would have thunk a pickleball tournament benefiting a chess team? That's got to be a first. All right. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next week. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
See you.
Hey, from the Pickleball crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Well, that's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave any comments, and please like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again, and see you next week.